I decided to use pills as a representation of my brain model. Every different pill represents a different part of the brain. Here I am representing the frontal lobe, and as you can see, it is a big part of the brain, and the functions of the frontal lobe are language, intelligence, emotional control, self-control, and problem solving. Here I am representing the parietal lobe. The parietal lobe processes sensory information for cognitive purposes and helps coordinate spatial relations. The parietal lobe is responsible to manage sensation, handwriting, and a body position. Next, I have a presentation for the temporal lobe, and the function of the temporal lobe centers around auditory stimuli, memory, and emotion. The temporal lobe contains the primary auditory complex. Next, I'm representing the occipital lobe. The occipital lobe participates in vision processing. It processes and interprets everything that we see around us. The last one, I'm representing the cerebellum. The cerebellum's main role is to monitor and regulate motor behavior without any need for conscious awareness. There are other functions like balance, posture, and emotional processing. 3 aspects that I have learned during this creative process. While completing this assignment, I have learned that the brain has 86 billion nerve cells and that 60% of the brain is made of fat that absorbs shock, so no damage comes to the brain. The brain is also 75% made out of water, and therefore dehydration can affect the function of the brain. I have also realized how big the human brain is and how significant every part of the brain plays a different role. The brain has 5 main parts, and within that, it is divided between even more parts that serves its own unique functions. During this creative process, I have realized that learning about the brain is interesting and important for our education. We should realize that our brains are capable of doing anything we put our minds to. Our brain is designed to do amazing things, and we should never limit ourselves in thinking we can't do what the rest of the people can do. Our brain has unlimited potential. We should just learn to stop being lazy and use it for what it's made for. We can learn to control our temper, remove a fear or a phobia, choose an appropriate response to a situation, better processes, store and retrieve information, and ultimately improve our memories. The human brain is amazing, but it also gets lazy. It is our responsibility to use it 100% and see what we can do and what the human brain is made of. Questions I had related to the brain. My biggest questions about the human brain is how much brain capacity we use on the daily, and the answer to that is 100%. The story about humans using only 10% of their brain capacity is a myth, because we do use every part of our brain, and our brain is mostly 100% active, although it is unlimited to our potential. It just depends on what you are doing during the day, and it is obviously not as effective when sleeping. When does the brain fully develop? The answer to my question is within the first year of life, the human brain develops to its full potential. But if our brain is so amazing, why do we become forgetful as we get older? Around 2 in 5 people start to lose their memory after the age of 65. The brain gets smaller and levels of serotonin and dopamine starts to fall. And this seems to affect our ability to make new memories. Changes in metabolism and blood supply can also affect the way we think. one aspect of training your brain that stood out for me. That was to get out of your comfort zone. Because your brain will never learn to think creative and out of the box if you don't get out of your comfort zone. Research has shown that keeping the brain active and providing it with varied stimulation can improve and prolong healthy brain performance. At any age, brain training creates a new neural pathways and connections that can be used as a sort of brain piggy bank, letting you draw on these reserves later in life. If you exercise your brain correctly, you enhance connective tissue between the neurons in your brain to help them function better and faster. This is the brain's unique way of growing and expanding its capacity. A fun fact about the human brain are that headaches are caused by chemical reactions. And the human brain weighs about 3 pounds and is one of the fattest organs. Another brain fact is that our brain uses a fifth of our energy, about 400 calories a day. I have learned so much about our brain by doing this assignment. I have learned the importance of training my brain and how to do so. I enjoyed being creative during this assignment, and I would love to study more into the brain and find out what the human brain is more about and how I can train my brain to do the best in academics that I possibly can and stop limiting myself.